I'm here at Appalachian Chic, and I'm with Chris, and I'm fixing to eat this badass burger. If you're in the Asheville area, check him out on Facebook and Instagram, and you can find out where he's at, right? You update it all? Yep. Find out where it's at. I'm telling you, look at this burger. Man. Also, check out these world famous gourmet tots right here, and they've got a little bit of pepper seasoning on them that I'm pretty stoked about. Whenever he said I was getting tots, I expected the little tater tots just regularly fried. Those are custom right there. Check them out. I am not having good luck with this tire, man. Golly. It is approximately 11 o'clock at night right now, pulling in. This is pretty usual too, actually, unfortunately. So here's one of the funniest things, right? Travel 3.5 hours to come to a campsite that there's nobody ever at, and you came here at 11 o'clock at night because nobody's ever at it. But then you run into a bunch of people that are from the same exact area that you're from. That's crazy. So do a quick introduction.
Hi, I'm Casey.
Daniel. Jake. I'm Josh.
Abby.
And I'm Toby.
And we're fixing to run Hurricane Creek at some point tomorrow. But first we're gonna drink beer and sit by this badass fire.
That's right.
Check that out. And then check this out. So I gave the last guy shit about bringing firewood to the damn campsite, but look at this firewood. Now, did y'all split this here or no?
No, we did not.
Yeah. Nice. So here's the deal. My man has started playing these eastern screech owl noises on, and now we actually have one over on this side. But here's the deal. I'm sleeping inside the truck, so I'm good. What's happening? Good morning, it's Sir William, and today we're fixing to go on Hurricane Creek. Safe to say, it's probably gonna be a busy day on the trail. So obviously, he puts it in the dirt, right? But what's cool about it is you gotta really see this setup. So tell me a little bit about your setup here, man.
I'm Brandon. This is my hammock setup. I got an idea from a guy driving an FJ, actually. He just had one single up through there. And it just turned out to be really simple. We've done the rooftop tent, we've done air mattress, everything else. By far the most comfortable for two people in this vehicle.
So you and your wife sleep back here?
Yes.
That's
easily.
awesome. And how long have y'all been doing it?
This is the third trip that we've taken with it.
Yeah.
The heater works perfectly.
I see that.
The windows, it actually fits into that cup holder like it was made for it.
Really?
So just another tick for this little Nissan. But yeah, man, it's really warm. The one thing you had to be really careful of, if you look right here, the lip of that hatch got bent really bad, and without this cheater bar will continue to get bent worse from the pressure of that paracord.
I gotcha.
And let
just the overall, just the weight.
Right. Because you gotta think it's still, you know, 400 pounds of downforce.
Yeah, on those two little concentrated areas.
400 pounds of downforce getting in at least. So.
Oh, look, this is the ratchet slip.
Yes. The ratchet straps, I was only able to find these at one place, Home Depot.
Unbelievable.
Last ratchet straps make this a hell of a lot easier.
That's cool, man. Well, listen, I like your rig, and the biggest thing is you guys are out here actually camping in it, and you got a setup that works for you guys. So, and I would venture to say that that's under $1,500, right?
Oh yeah. $20. Another $20 in ratchet straps.
Yeah.
Free piece of pipe.
Nice. Just more proof that you don't need to have all the big expensive stuff to get out here and enjoy the outdoors. I couldn't help but to take advantage of, you might be a redneck if you get excited about your CB being loud and clear as hell. The biggest thing about this thing is the big ass rock that's kind of in the middle. But if you just kind of go slow and easy, you should be okay. And that's generally the idea behind any obstacle that you come across. Just slow and easy. You don't have to go bogging through it and, you know, make a huge wake and all. Just slow and easy. We're gonna get out real quick. We're gonna film these guys so that way you can see it from the other side. So what I was trying to tell you guys is, see how that rock is over there? You gotta really be careful how you come down in this first water crossing. When you come down, you just gotta make sure that you go nice and slow and you'll be good to go. So I'm in 4 low, and the reason is because I want complete control over the vehicle. Now, you don't necessarily need 4 low for this. You could do this in 4 high, or hell, you could probably do this in just 2-wheel drive. But the reason that I put it in 4 low is because I want complete control over every aspect of the vehicle. The other thing is you might hear in the front end, it sounds like that rattling. Well, it is a rattle. It's still present. I changed out the suspension thinking that it was something different, and found that the suspension needed to be changed anyway, so I changed it out to the TRD Pro setup. Just another Toyota deal. But now I'm finding that I either have an inner tie rod that's busted, or a steering rack that's gone bad. And I'm hoping that it's the inner tie rod. Pretty sure that it's the inner tie rod, but we'll definitely replace that first. I can only imagine what's caused it to do this, just based off of the massive amounts of hits that it's taken through the desert at high speeds and stuff like that. So it is what it is. 70,000 miles on Apple now, so it's about time to have to start doing some things, you know? I was telling them I'm gonna go ahead and air down. You know, I don't think it's completely necessary, but there's a good amount of mud on the trails. Just off the fact that the trail's been heavily used over the past few months, really. This has become a pretty popular trail. So with that being said, it's kind of rutted out. That's the only bad thing about these really bad or really big group rides that you see. Really tears up the land, unfortunately. I try to stay in groups with 10 or under. Usually works out pretty good. Plus it takes a whole lot less time. Somebody that's filming the trails, it's kind of an aggravation having to stop, set up the camera, go back and get it. And after only about 2 or 3 times, I let people generally see that, but after about 2 or 3 times, I generally tell them, hey, you know what, just go on and go ahead, y'all have fun, I'm gonna meet up with you boys later. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's fast forward, let's run these trails. One of the things I started carrying in Apple ever since the fiasco at Expo East with all the mud is these boots, these muck boots. Not necessarily muck boots, they're just some rubber boots from Walmart. For the wind, yeah, those came in handy. So I leave them in the back of the 4Runner, and luckily I do, because I forgot my boots, my little Timberlands that I normally wear, and my feet generally stay somewhat warm in those. But man, ever since I lost some weight, I tell you what, the blood just does not circulate the way it used to, seems like. Check out this little rock action. It's always dope whenever people recognize me from YouTube. That was Mauricio and his homeboy, and some badass rigs, man. You see that Land Cruiser and that Raptor? I'd much rather have the Land Cruiser than the Raptor, but both of them are sweet, man. Rock on. Glad to see you guys out here on the trail. Hope you guys enjoy the videos. Sloppy, muddy mess for sure. That's kind of what I was telling you guys about all the people coming through here, is it started to get rutted out pretty bad because of this. You know, it doesn't help when folks come through and like they tear the place up and like rut it all up, you know, like by spinning tires. So whenever you're out here, just low and slow, man. Just put it low and slow. It's another reason why I do 4 low, is because you got the amount of power that you need to kind of handle all this stuff and control it at the same time, versus you could go baja through in this stuff, but if you do that, you're not going to have much control. You're going to tear up the place. So just low and slow. It is one thing, I do wish that Apple had like a 3-inch lift on her, because it would sure help out a lot. Real quick, just wanted to explain something to you, just kind of the thought process behind the way that I would approach an obstacle like this. So basically, because of my clearance the way that it is, the last thing that I want to do is drop off into the big ruts like you see right there. I would most definitely scrape in the middle. So what I try to do is I try to straddle where the big ruts are and the middle, and usually I can get away with doing this. The only time that it's a little tricky is if there's a whole lot of mud and then you just slide right down in the ruts and there's not much you can do. That's where the benefit of having good skid plates come in. So what I'm gonna do is just straddle right on along the center there and kind of ease my way around that hole. The video does not always do it justice. So I'll give you an idea of how deep this thing is. That's the top of it right there. And then that's the bottom right there. So if you come up this and you drop your tire down in there and you don't have enough clearance, you're gonna hit this rock. If you don't come at this rock the right way and you come up on the corner of it, you're gonna pinch a tire and you can pop it. So whenever you're going over obstacles like this, it's imperative to just kind of know your line. I'm gonna put my wheels center on that, center on here as best as I can. If you have a spotter, it's even better. That makes for a bad day. So the good news is I've got some dry pants, luckily. But man, it is freezing. So I gotta change real quick. I'm absolutely soaked. This sucks. Man, the things I do for good content, right? Golly. Try to record one water crossing and decide to go swimming in 30-degree weather. This is one of those trips, man, that I just seem to keep on getting little tests here and there. You know, I found a slit in my tire, then fell in the rocks here. God. It's all good though. So I got dry socks, dry underwear, dry clothes. We're good to go. Only one set though. God. Always try to walk your route if you're not sure. Whenever you walk it, you'll have a better idea of what kind of obstacles you face. So always walk it beforehand.
Walk it like I talk it.
one of those times where you need to get out and walk. So as you can see, it's deep mud over there, right? And it's not necessarily that I can't make it, but anytime you can put yourself in the least amount of risk, do so. As you can see, it's already caking up on the tires. I've only got all terrains. I don't have mud terrains. So you have to be real careful, and you have to think about the limits of your equipment. And as you can see, whenever we go up here, you got a pretty big rut. The only way that I think is gonna be the best way is if I straddle right there in the middle. But here's the thing, if I do get stuck, I'm not completely alone, because there's a group of about 20 Jeeps back behind us. Although the last thing that you want is a Jeep to pull out a Toyota, right? Gotta watch that rock right there. So I'm gonna try to stick right there in the middle. If I can put my right wheel in the middle there and my left wheel over there where it's kind of solid, then I think we'll be good. Right over there is a big drop off, so I don't want to be there. All right, here's the deal. I've picked out my line. I think I know the best way to approach this obstacle, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the traction assistance here in the 4Runner. Now, whether or not I need it or not is really irrelevant to me, because I've got it, so I might as well use it, right? The last thing I want to do is get stuck in there and then try to use it, backtrack. I kind of look at it like this. Think of if you were getting a roof done on your home. Two guys showed up. One guy showed up with a hammer, the other guy showed up with a nail gun, right? Who's going to get the roof done faster? Probably the guy with the nail gun. But are you going to get down on him because he's got a nail gun? Nah, he just brought a better tool. It is what it is. You could probably do this with regular 4-low. You might be able to do this in 2-wheel drive. I'm not sure. But for the way that I'm going to do it, it's going to be in 4-low. It's going to be with the traction assistance. That way I can eliminate as many possibilities for weakness as I possibly can. That being said, let's hit it. So I'm gonna have to really hug this over here to the left in order to try to grab up on it. I am gonna get some pinstriping, but that's just kind of the cost of doing business, you know? I don't want to get stuck in this by myself. Again, it's not a life and death situation because I do have people back behind me, but I don't want to have to deal with that. So now whenever I get up here, I'm gonna have to give her some gas. Nine times out of 10, it's all about technique. If you pick the right line and you go slow and calculate every decision that you make, then you'll be good to go 9 times out of 10. Now, that being said, you always want to make sure that you got the proper recovery gear just in case you need it. And it's always good to wheel with some buddies too. What I will say is a general rule of thumb is slow is too fast. Another hazard that you need to look out for is other people, right? So I just happen to see through the trees here that there's some folks coming around the, see, and they did not see me. Especially those guys on those dual sports. Those guys, a lot of times, they're going a whole lot faster than what we are. So that being said, you really got to pay attention on these trails because a lot of people use these trails, especially on the weekday or the weekends like we're at right now. It's a Saturday, you know, and it's nice. It's 37 degrees, but it's nice. So here we are on Max Patch. Check this out, huh? That's pretty cool. So 360-degree view, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia, or maybe both. Man, Hurricane Creek is a phenomenal trail, man. I really like it. Every time I run it, I like it even more. It is getting a bit rutted out because it's definitely popular. It's gained in popularity for sure over the past few years. I remember I used to run Hurricane Creek and I would not see hardly anybody, and I saw more people today than I've seen probably in 3 years. So it's definitely gaining popularity. Everybody's coming out here to have a good time and enjoy it, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just be respectful. Make sure you don't tear up the land is, you know, kind of the wish for everybody in this community. That way we can continue to all come out here and have a good time. I appreciate you guys watching. If you would, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you didn't like it, make sure you dislike it and tell me why you didn't like it. Until next time, peace!